Greetings, and welcome to a YouTube video on my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be making a tier list based on the design of raiders. We're not doing individual evolution stages, a raider as a whole. We're going to be talking about that. I'm making it here with EXE. He's been patiently waiting for me to start this recording after I failed like 3 times in a row. But now we're actually starting. So with this tier list, I plan on just talking about the pure design of a raider. We're also going to be including their power, because power also includes in that, but I feel like we're talking about how fun they are and how well designed. But obviously we're going to start off with Cell. Cell, definitely heinous, I'm just kidding. Cell is a great design. Cell by default is a great design. It rewards knowledge very well because of how fast he evolves, but Cell as a whole has a lot of good designs. I think the fact that he can evolve pretty quickly, he gets more rewarded for fighting survivors. He doesn't inherently benefit from camping, unlike some other other raiders here that inherently benefit from that. But I think he has a lot going for him. Cell is an 8 out of 10 for beginners. I agree. I think Cell is a very, very strong recommendation for anyone starting, and it's great that he's the default raider that you're, forced to play on your first match, versus bots match. So it's very nice that he has that. He has a decent amount of power. His level 2 is definitely not as strong as others. However, I think that's just something you have to get past with him because of how strong he can get. His level 3, after all the buffs he's gotten, is very strong. I must say that. Like, anyone can say that with Cell. He has so much going for him with level 3. He has explosions, infinite snipes, 300 meter key blast. I've measured it out. Yes, I know the stats of things. And it's 300 meters. Don't ask why I did this. It was mainly for myself. But that's crazy. That is the longest key blast in the entire game out of anyone, and he can just snipe over and over and over again, doing 80 damage to dragon changes each time he does so. It is very strong. And then once you get to level 4, while he is a little underwhelming, the fact that he is a level 4 inherently makes him pretty strong. And you can get to it really fast. So if you're having a good game, you get to your level 4, his powerful super attack is horrible. I don't think anyone can really disagree with that. But his what is it called? His other super, area clear area, whatever, you know what it is. It's where he swipes his arm across and then he just clears everyone in his path. Does a really good amount of damage. I believe it's 250. I could be wrong, but that's still a really good amount of damage, even with resistance. He has a lot going for him. He's well designed. There's nothing annoying about fighting him at all. I don't think I've ever really been annoyed about fighting a Cell because of Cell. It's mainly just the player. So that makes, he's a great design. He's not fantastic, but he's great. Now moving on to Frieza, my personal favorite, obviously, but Frieza as a design, he's in between these two right here, because I think he is a great design inherently, but at the same time, I think he could use improvements, not because he is annoying to fight, but because he is fairly weak. I think right now the weakest raider in the game is probably Frieza. Purely because I think it used to be Buu, because of how bad Spopovich was, but with a recent buff to him, the return to egg skill, that changed everything. Frieza is a 6 out of 10. I would actually go as low as to make him either a 5 or a 4 out of 10. I purely say that for beginners alone, because while he is simple, the fact that you are giving the survivors way easier access to the Dragon Balls really puts them down there, because new survivors aren't going to find Dragon Balls like veteran survivors are going to, like pre-mades are going to, obviously. But when you start giving them these civilians that call out for help that can hold those, the Namekians, suddenly even the solo teams can find those Dragon Balls really easily. And that's really bad, because Cell, they're in random spots, they're in pots, they're in chests, they're in other breakables, things like that. And it's not as bad. Sometimes solos can find it, and obviously good players or pre-mates are going to find it, but Frieza is bad against solos more in comparison to Cell or honestly any other raider, purely because of the Dragon Ball issue that he has. But his level 1 doesn't have a burst skill or a break strike. Is very easily jumpable. He's very slow. I don't think this is just like a feeling. I think Frieza genuinely is very slow compared to other raiders. Every time I play another raider, since I have my Frieza at level 100, I played him plenty, I feel like I'm going so fast. And it's not just because of a feeling. I haven't had a full chance to test this. Obviously, you can't put a raider by a raider and check how fast they go. But out of so many gameplays that I've seen, he really is slow. And the fact that if you have to call out Zarbon and Dodoria, which are two of his active skills, by the way, 2 of the 3, he's missing an active skill slot the entire time. Just saying, I think he's the only raider in the game right now that is always missing an active slot. Why? Except for his stage 1 where he has a scouter, oh boy. But his super attacks are fine. Like, I think at level 3, his third form, his death beam's pretty good. And when it comes to strength, he's fine. In design, there's nothing annoying, but in design of strength-wise, I gotta put him below Cell, purely because Cell is more balanced. He has more of a chance on both sides, while Frieza is missing a little something, missing a little flair. He needs another active skill, whether it be some sort of tracking or some sort of movement, whether it be like a dash or something like that, a chase move. But he's missing something. He feels pretty bland. Two of his active skills are just the same thing, but one is better than the other, aka Zarbon. But he is not in a bad spot when it comes to going against him, but as a raider design in itself, he's missing something. Hence why I'm putting him in the could use improvements. But moving on, you're saying, oh, I didn't even realize you actually already talked about Buu. You said Buu is a 9 out of 10 if you pass level 1 for beginners. The fact that Buu can return to egg now with the press of a button at any time, you don't even need the full energy, is insane. Since the buff, I have only killed Spopovich once, and I've seen a lot more Buus. That is insane. In Season 6, I killed plenty of Spopoviches, whatever you want to call them. But I would say Buu as a design, he's a great design. I think it's a little dumb, his return to egg. However, it's what he needed to get up there with raiders nowadays with their strength level while not being annoying to go against. Buu is very enjoyable to fight against and to play as a raider and survivor. He's close to fantastic design, but that return to egg skill instead of something more interesting for the Spopovich, plus the fact that he can guard the innocent Buu within his stomach, if you want to call it that. I don't know the proper term for it, but you know what I mean. When he sucks everybody in, everyone's in that. He finds that he can just camp it and he basically wins. That doesn't happen much, but it can happen. It can happen. So those two things kind of bring him down from a fantastic design for me. But he's still good. He's still a good design. I like him a lot. His level 1 is great now because of that. His level 2, while it is missing 2 active skills, it's kind of a detriment because of, I think Super Buu is very good. It's definitely not the instant win, but it is very strong to get to and easy to get to. You only need 3 civilians or survivors. It's pretty easy. And then once you get to that, you have the threat of getting to Kid Buu. Kid Buu, again, kind of like Cell, is slightly underwhelming, but he's still level 4. He's pretty strong. He has a lot going for him. Overall, Buu is just fantastic. He's a very good design. He's missing a few key things that can bring him up to a fantastic. I just called him fantastic, but you know what I mean. You know, his design could be fantastic if you add those 2 things. But moving past that, going to the first added raider, we're going to Vegeta, and Vegeta is going instantly in fantastic design. Vegeta is a wonderfully designed raider. He's an auto-evolve raider, so even if you get jumped, Vegeta 7 out of 10. What is this? What are you saying, EXE? Alright, Green Boy, you add him last. Well, I'm saying Vegeta overall is a fantastic design. He is strong, he is balanced, he has auto-evolve in case you're getting jumped, it gives you that chance at the end. He has Great Ape, which is very hard to get to. Very hard to get to, by the way. But he still has, like, he's invincible unless you hit him in the tail. But to keep that a balance aspect, you can find Yajirobe's Katana, which deals 1 whole bar to him with 1 swipe of it to his tail. And then he also takes regular damage values when getting hit in the tail. And when he goes from stage 3 to stage 4, he doesn't heal at all. He doesn't heal at all. Are you guys getting the foreshadowing? The subtle foreshadowing here? But Vegeta overall, Cyberman, balanced. You can get that. If someone plays dumb, you can lunge at him very slowly, so it's balanced. He has a radius of 150 meters, just like every other raider, to let you know that he's near with Cybermen. He only needs 3 civilians instead of 4 like he used to. Like, God, Vegeta is just perfect. He is fun to go against. He is fun to play. Everything about him, great. I think this is the baseline for a perfect raider. Let me see what you said, EXE. EXE said, if you get level 3 without Nappa dying, he's less health. What do you mean? But Nappa died. Okay, EXE, I don't know what you're saying there. It's a little confusing. I think what you're trying to say is that if you get level 3 without Nappa dying, he gets less health. I don't think that's true. I think he has the same health no matter what. The only difference is with Nappa. If Nappa dies, your, what is it called? You know, burst open and mix. You guys know what I'm talking about, where he turns into a great ape. Instead of being 500 seconds when you spawn, it's like 700 and something. It is a very big difference if Nappa dies. It is a big penalty, and it gives a reason for the survivors to fight Nappa. But then if Nappa survives, you get access to that other active skill, Call Nappa, which is very strong now after the call buffs. Plus, you get 500 seconds instead of the 700. Much higher chance of getting your great ape, you know, working off that with the damage that you're given. Vegeta, fantastic. Ginyu still needs a health buff, but see, I'm thinking. He either goes great design or could use improvements. I think he could use improvements. I do. I think he's a great design. He's very, very funny to go against. Funny? Fun. Yeah, and funny, to be honest. But when it comes to Ginyu, Goldo still dies in one super for some reason. If you hit him with a super spear bomb, which makes sense, but if you hit him with the gigantic meteor, gigantic roar, even ones that like that, I think even with special beam cannon beast, I think that also one-shots him. Don't quote me on that, but God, Goldo dies very quickly, and he takes 4 civilians to evolve, which is kind of balanced, to be honest, because of the fact that Goldo gives out that health boost. I think it's a really big difference. And when it comes to new players picking Ginyu, when it comes to, you know, those lower level lobbies and how the design works there, the fact that he can die 3 times and still have Ginyu coming, even though he'll be very weak then, gives new raiders a little bit of a better chance. It's not perfect, but I think that is a little nice for newer players. But when it comes to design overall, Goldo needs just a little bit more health. Let him survive at least one of those supers. Don't give him too much because of that health boost that he does give to Ginyu if he survives. Raccoon is fine except for Raccoon Eraser Gun. Why does that thing... It's so bad. It very, very slowly comes out. It takes forever. And I'm not even exaggerating that. It's probably the slowest one in the game. I think that the wind up for it is longer than the let me think, what is it called? I don't know what it's called. It's the one where Jace and Bert are combined together in that tornado, or that vortex, the purple vortex. I think it actually shoots out slower than the first ball of that one. But Raccoon, other than that, he has 2 movement abilities. He has a not so great break strike, but it's still fine. Oh, not to mention Goldo also has a break strike, but it's okay. Jason Birder, I think they're fine where they are. Ginyu, I would say by default give him maybe 5 to 10% more HP, and then give the buff that Goldo gives a little bit lower to kind of keep that in line. Give Ginyu a little bit more chance, because Goldo's going to get jumped by a higher level team. They need a bunch of little improvements that could bring them up to great design, and then with some, you know, bigger improvements from the design team, if they ever decide to do that, could bring him up to fantastic design with the others. Could be very fun every time. I think he's fun every time, but right now he's a little weak. He's on the weaker side, similar to Frieza here, but I think he's got really good potential. Each member boosts to level 4. Okay, that's true. I gotta tell him about that. So if Goldo survives, health boost to Ginyu. If Raccoon survives, attack boost. And if Jason Bird survives, you get a speed boost to Ginyu. The only ones that really matter are Goldo and Jason Birder, because if Goldo survives, you get that health boost, plus he roams around the map. Frieza survivors let you know where they are. He just does that the whole game if he survives. And if Jason Birder survives, suddenly, when you use those super attacks for Ginyu, the Milky Cannon or 4-power energy wave, if you body change, it is insanely powerful. And I mean insanely. Like, it does so much damage. The blue hurricane shows up instantaneously wherever you're looking. Jace throws off Crusher Balls forever. Like, once you're done with your Milky Cannon from Ginyu, Jace is still going as you're flying away. He just keeps on going, so it's area denial with that. And then Raccoon, all he does is give that attack boost plus your melee damage is more. And you get one more Break Strike, because whenever a member survives, they give you one free Break Strike, which isn't that crazy. It's good. It sounds great on paper, but it's just a one-time thing. So it's not that crazy to me. But, you know, he has a lot of interesting aspects. He's very fun. I don't think there's anything that's really annoying about him. He just needs a little bit of love. But moving on to Broly. I think Broly is a great design. I used to not think great about it because when I used to play with my friend, he would complain about him a lot. I'm like, yeah, maybe. But after being enlightened from solo queue, I think Broly isn't quite fantastic design. Purely because he is the only raider in the game, I believe. I could be wrong, but he's the only raider in the game that starts off with a dash that isn't on cooldown. And he can just dash instantly upon spawning, find someone, and you're getting jumped by Broly in the first, not even exaggerating, 5 seconds of the match. That should not be a thing. It's very similar to what Baby used to do, where he'd spawn directly next to you, and there's nothing you could do about it. But that is the only major issue. Broly is balanced. You get 3 super transfers, all of them being pretty good, unless you get, you know, like Super Saiyan at stage 2. But even then, it's still a super transfer, and if you know what you're doing, it's good no matter what. He gains energy passively by fighting, so it incentivizes the fun part, which is fighting, strategy with fighting, grouping up as a team. He can have 2 burst skills / break strikes when he gets to stage 3 and 4, one of them being a barrier, and then at stage 3 he has that map-wide powerful super attack that also gives him a barrier. So if you're at the Super Time Machine, he has a lot to work with. His utility is insane, yet at the same time, the game gives you enough tools to deal with that. It gives you cooldown drinks, it gives you super transfers, it gives you, generally speaking, a lot more warning to when he's coming, because his break strike doesn't even damage you. Neither of his break strikes damages you, by the way. That's also a very good design decision. In one of them, where he gets the barrier, if you vanish kick him, that barrier immediately goes away. Or if you melee him, but vanish kick is faster. Everything. There's so many little things going on. There's a lot to learn with Broly, both as playing as and going against him. It's just that spawn. If they took away that spawn and they made it to where it's on cooldown when he starts, I get that it's Broly. I know when it comes to, you know, his character, it doesn't make complete sense, but for a design perspective, you take that away, you make him less annoying at the beginning, where sometimes you just randomly get shafted and you die because of that. He could be up here with Vegeta. He has a lot of good things. But moving from that, we're going to Goku Black. He could use improvements. He's really close to this. I get that he is just a strong raider. He's not even that annoying to go against because it doesn't feel very, you know, in your face. He's very strong. Both of his super attacks at stage 3 and 2 are fantastic. You know, regular or rose. They're the same ones, really. One just does more damage. They're fantastic. They're both snipes. One of them is faster. Obviously, the Black Kamehameha is pretty good. You also get Energy Evolution. Yeah, I mentioned that with Broly. But when it comes to Goku Black, he has everything going for him, but it's not in your face as a survivor. So it's not incredibly annoying. Not incredibly annoying, but it's pretty bad sometimes. The level 2 strategy is still rampant. I don't know why we don't get supplies anymore. I don't know why they haven't reverted that. It's very annoying when you're in an average game with average survivors. He's probably going to win. You don't get a super transfer. There's no Dragon Balls. There's no supplies. He has a great kit. Like, what are you going to do? You can try to carry. You can try to do great. But the chances of that are so low with the level 2 strategy. The level 2 strategy is holding him back from a great design because there's other aspects I would change about him. His fused form, Fused Zamasu, needs a health buff. It has so little HP for some reason. Also, stage 3 to 4 needs to take less evolution energy. I think he needs less to get to stage 4 in general because that would be interesting. You've got those 2 transfers that you can hold on to, the super transfers. If you really want to, you can fight him. There's a lot you can use to hold him back. If he's at level 4, the supplies are going to be great. So it's going to be a really intense level 4 battle with a little bit more HP to deal with, so it makes it more manageable for him. Plus the fact that he can have 3 burst skills / break strikes at corrupted. That's crazy to me. He can have that many, but he's still balanced. Level 4 and level 1 are great. I think those are designed well, except for the fact that level 1, nothing happens if you kill him. Instead of making it to where he respawns a little bit slower, maybe if he dies, I'd make it to where if Zamasu is defeated at stage 1, he does not show up for the first 3 minutes of stage 2. I'm going that far. 3 minutes stage 2, just one of those aspects gone. Suddenly that random chance of just being annoyed by Zamasu, having to use, if you haven't found Vegeta gloves or anything like that, suddenly he's just pushing you away or forcing you to use your dragon change, that's gone. For 3 minutes. At level 2, if he goes to level 3, he immediately comes back. De-incentivizing the level 2 strategy, incentivizing actually going to level 3, bringing out the super transfer, adding in interesting fighting mechanics, rewarding the Goku Black for leveling up quickly. Things like that would be very interesting. It would make him more fun to go against. There's a lot of little things you could change about him. He's similar to Ginyu in that fact, to where you got to change a lot of little things, and that one major change was stage 1. Suddenly, you got a Raider that's pretty close to fantastic design. But now we're moving on to the ones that are going to make up the majority of the video, I'm sure. So EXC, also when STM spawns, Zamasu will always stay near. Oh, that's true. That's true. I'm okay with that too, because if you're at level 2 and suddenly they bring out the STM, you can defend it a lot less efficiently when you don't have that Zamasu to back you up every now and then. Well, not a lot less efficiently, but that little bit. He can help. He can definitely help. But as I was saying, we're going to move on now. We're going to go to Baby, the classic, the man who just annoyed me every 2 seconds in season 6. I think. Oh, I'm thinking that he's no longer heinous. I'm saying this. He's in bad and needs work. So I'm saying this purely because one of the main issues I had with him was the fact that he could spawn directly next to you in the old patch, and that was apparently a glitch that lasted all of season 6 for 4 months. And then they finally took it away. Suddenly, he can't just one-shot you after half a second of spawning in. His stage 1 does need improvements. I still agree with that. It should not take 5 civilians. It should take 3. Heck, I'd even take 4. I don't know why it takes 5. That is such an insane amount to require him to go to that, to where if you're going against a good team, Baby is going to lose. Purely because of that. You're not giving him a chance. Horrible design purely because he is fantastically annoying against a regular team, but the second you go up against a pre-made, or just a random assortment of good survivors that you have one guy UAVing you with a Jocko ship, what are you going to do? Nothing. Because you're in that kind of position. You got Flying Nimbus, as Iron Cane would famously say, Flying Nimbus. Just hear that in the background. Because it's true. I run it. I pulled Flying Nimbus in Season 7, right as it started. And then I have a baby loadout. If Baby shows up, I use that. Because it's just that efficient. Why would you not do that? But moving past the stage 1, which does need a lot of work, it is annoying against, if you got bad teammates, but that's just bad teammates in general. We're going to stage 2. Why does his stage 2 have 2 burst skills? 2 break strikes, whatever you want to call them. Plus, one of them is just a carbon copy of Goku Black's fantastic break strike. It has a 50-meter range of a knockback and a 25-meter range of damaging you. That's already good on its own. But then they just decide, let's give him another one. Then he has one where he brings up a little barrier around him and he's suddenly immune to Ki Blast for about 5 seconds. Okay. He doesn't need that at stage 2. He just doesn't. I would replace it with something basic. Honestly, what you could do, well, no, because they have the same things at stage 2 and 3. There's a lot you have to change to Baby. He has a lot of work that you need to do. You would need to give him a brand new move, basically, for that, because I don't want him to have that barrier at stage 2. Perfectly fine with him having that at stage 3, but at stage 2, no. That's too much. Purely because, let's say people are just saying, oh, well, by people, I mean Iron Cane. He said in his response to mine, let me actually read yours real quick. You see, tip if survivor Baby in level 1 cannot get key sense from you. You won't know where he is. He might be in the building. I mean, yeah, you cannot key sense that. I mean, well, you can key sense him, but I wouldn't recommend key sensing purely for Baby. All you have to do is just have some sort of flying vehicle. If you played in Season 5, use Jocko Ship. If you don't have some sort of vehicle in general, you can buy Launch, the blonde hair Launch, get the passive to where you can pick up items with the vehicle. Use a vehicle in general with a speed boost if you got that. It's pretty common to get it as a pickup. Suddenly you can outrun Baby. You just got to be a little careful. Don't get caught in caves. You can play smart around it. But Stage 2 again. Both of his super attacks are great. You got Big Bang Attack / Final Flash because he holds it like a Final Flash, but he does Big Bang Attack for some reason. And then you've got his Finish Breaker, which is pretty good. It's not great, but it's pretty good. It's good for if you're getting jumped. You can kind of make some distance with his dash move, look directly downwards, use it, and suddenly, well, you've got a lot of fire coming out. They only have that one dodge, as they still do, so they're going to get hit by a decent amount of that. But from his super attacks, you've got his active skills. He has a dash, 2 break strikes, and call Servant. Servant doesn't apply until you kill someone. We know this. But typically speaking, you'll at least get 1 Servant at some point. How's it going, show? We're in the middle of this, as you can see by our tier list. If you want to add in anything, I'll review over everybody at the end, but right now we're on Baby. But when it comes to how you would play level 2 Baby, if anyone runs into an infected civilian, you know where they are. You can go find them unless they have a burst of their own, like After Image or Angry Shout. But even if they don't, typically speaking, unless they're across the map, you can make it to them, fight them, kill them, get that little evolution energy. It only takes 3 civilian / survivors to get from level 2 to 3. Why is that so little? It just doesn't make sense to me. Plus, if you get a little, very lucky, and everyone runs into your infected civilian, sometimes it can only take 2. And then, of course, the issue everyone has that's bringing him even lower on the design. Why do we have to watch the cutscenes every time? 20 seconds. It is a 20-second cutscene going from stage 2 to 3. How's it going, Darth? Be quiet. You don't have to be quiet. I mean, or no, you don't have to tell me to be quiet. I'm just speaking the truth. Speaking the truth. Don't worry. I'll get to Gambas soon, though, Cho. But when it comes to Baby Stage 2 overall, he has way too much to work with. Way too much. And you might say, oh, he's missing an active skill slot. That doesn't matter. When you have 2, why do you have 2 break strikes / burst skills? That doesn't make sense. Because if you're looking at his stage 2, Buu at stage 2 is missing 2 active slots. Frieza is missing 1. Cell is missing 1. Who else? No, he's not missing any. I think, is Raccoon missing 1? No, he's not. Raccoon's not missing 1. So yeah, I mean, you've got Buu, Cell, Frieza. All of them, the originals, which are still considered okay nowadays, are all missing 1 entirely. When his call Servant, you can still get. And it's a pretty good one since the buffs. Well, I don't think the buffs affected them, but even without the buffs affecting them, they're still pretty good if you know how to use them. But moving on from that, going to stage 3 after waiting 20 seconds of the same cutscene over and over again, he's missing the dash. I'm okay with that. Or if you're not okay with that, I would genuinely be okay if you swapped his reverse shot and his dash from stage 2 to 3. Give stage 2 the reverse shot, give stage 3 to dash. Make stage 3 a little bit more incentivized to go to. Stage 3, 2 very, very powerful super attacks. Revenge Death Ball, extreme radius, faster than the Divine Ray Bomb when it comes to a similar super attack. His is it Big Bang Attack? I don't know what it is. Whatever his giant beam is, that Final Flash probably. Whatever it is, the giant pink purplish beam that he shoots out with a giant radius, basically same thing as the Black Kamehameha. These two are very similar in some aspects, not all of them, but some. His stage 3, it's strong. People undermined it a lot. It has a lot going for it. It has great Ki Blast. It has the Goku Black Ki Blast at Rose, and then its spam, aka alternate fire, is just Vegeta's at stage 3, alternate fire, where it's just the rapid fire Ki Blast. Both of them being great. can't be canceled out with the original one, by the way. I think you can cancel out his alternate fire, though. But even with that considered, great Ki Blast, great super attacks, 2 burst skills, an actual pretty good reverse shot that can track Jocko ships. If you shoot that thing out when you see a Jocko ship, it will track them, it will get them. That thing is great for people running away. It's undermined a lot. Every ability that he has is useful. Final Flash Revenge, that's what, yeah, that's the one. Baby Shield, yeah, I don't know why he has that. It shouldn't be a thing. Get rid of that as a burst skill at stage 2, but you can keep it at stage 3. I'm okay with that. Give him a little something, because the main issue with Baby, and I think everyone would agree with, that would kind of like, some people might even put him here, or maybe here. The reason why he's here, and why I think most people would agree, is because stage 3 to 4 takes way too little evolution energy to get to Golden Great Ape. Golden Great Ape, as I hinted at before with Vegeta, it has more HP. It takes less damage in general. It gains HP from going stage 3 to 4. So if you damage Baby at stage 2, if you damage Baby at stage 3, you've done half his HP, maybe even a little bit more. He gains 3 bars of HP back when going from stage 3 to 4. Why on God's green earth does he get that? That is not deserved in the slightest. It is so unwinnable. Iron Cane has only beaten 1 Golden Great Ape, and I saw it. He didn't kill Golden Great Ape. The Golden Great Ape was greeting the STM. That's the only reason he lost. If you play extremely stupid, that is the only scenario where you will lose as a Golden Great Ape. It is the giant win condition in your face. Oh my God. And after getting Cell Max, here's the thing. Cell Max added in, you bring down his stun or his gauge, his knockback gauge. He is stunned for what, 5+ seconds, and he takes increased damage while he's stunned. Baby is stunned for 1.2 seconds and does not take any increased damage while he's stunned. Why? Golden Great Ape is completely overpowered, and everyone will agree. The fact that makes him even more overpowered, that makes him so just heinous. If it was Golden Great Ape individually, he's going here, but is the fact that level 3 to 4, it only takes 3 survivors to get to level 3 to 4. Or 2 survivors and 1 civilian. Or 4 civilians in general. Or you can get 3 civilians and 2 people interact with those infected civilians. A lot of scenarios where you suddenly are going to get Golden Great Ape and you just win. There's nothing the survivors are going to do. But the reason he's not all the way down here is because he got that stupid spawn out. His level 1 can be countered. His level 2 is very annoying. His level 3 is very strong, but with a couple adjustments it could be fine. His level 4, God, it's so close to bringing him down to here. But moving on to the main event. The main event here. Everyone's been waiting for, Cho's been waiting for this. Ooh, the Gammas. The Gammas. Instantly, without hesitation, they are the worst design raider in the entire game. The worst, without a doubt. Why? Why do they think this is a good idea? Let's start. Let's start from somewhere here. We're just doing the same thing as we did with the others. Level 1. He has a very, very good burst skill / break strike, the android barrier, but it's on a 60-second cooldown. Okay. He takes 4 civilians to evolve? What? Okay, this is actually sounding pretty balanced. Alright, what else? Okay, he has pretty bad Ki Blasts. His supers are okay, but for a level 1, they're pretty darn good. So far, it's seeming balanced, but here's the problem that they never mentioned anywhere. I have tested this extensively. On average, 6 more civilians spawn when the Gammas are the raider. I don't know if you heard me right. 6. Why in the world do 6 more civilians on average? It could be less, could be more. Because I've had a scenario where 8 civilians spawned in more than the average of another one on the same map, aka Dark Future. It is ridiculous. The fact that I know, I see the question mark. Since when? Since always. At first, I thought it was just a feeling, but I went in, I tested it, and it happens so much. It's especially a problem on bigger maps when it comes to like Dark Future or what is it? The Vegeta map, the Rocky something. You know what I'm talking about. Those spawn a whole lot more. But even on maps that are small, like what is it called? Waterfront Warzone. I still saw an influx of about 4 more civilians. Why is that a thing? You ever get that feeling where you're playing against the Gammas and within 1 minute they found 4 civilians? It's not because they're just completely amazing at the game. It's because they have a way of tracking civilians unlike any other raider in the game. Because KeySense, for some reason, a lot of people think it does. KeySense does not detect civilians. It doesn't. It's just not how it works. Scouter does, but what are you going to do? Bring up Scouter, slowly move around, look down, look up with the really weird interface of it, and then eventually find one of them? When you can just be the Gammas being in the middle of a city, press one button and suddenly shoot every civilian around you? Yeah, exactly. People say that it's a feeling. I've even seen Iron Cane in some streams where he's like, do the Gammas, like when the Gammas first came out, do the Gammas have more civilians that spawn? They do. And I've tested it, and it's true. It's ridiculous. But I'm going to move past that. I've talked about this enough. His level 1 seems fine on paper, but the fact that he can get those 4 civilians instantaneously is ridiculous. He has ways of tracking them. There's more of them in general. He has a dash, which is on cooldown when he spawns in, but in case he gets it, it's not a great dash, but it's still a dash. He can use it. The super attacks are fantastic for a stage 1. It's the best super attacks for a stage 1 in the entire game. And once you get to stage 2 is just a carbon copy of stage 1. Gamma 1 and 2 are the same ones, except for same raider, except for very minute differences. When it comes to Gamma 1 in comparison to Gamma 2, Gamma 1 shoots 2 Ki Blasts instead of 3, because Gamma 2 actually spams them out. But Gamma 1 shoots 2, and they're ever so slightly faster, so they're a little bit better. His super attacks are about the same. He has Android Barrier. He has a way of detecting civilians. It's just the same thing, but he's stage 2. If Gamma 2 survived, Gamma 1 dies, you're going to stage 3. If Gamma 1 survives, you're still going to stage 3. And guess what? Since the recent patch, my god. Exactly, I agree, Godzilla. For some reason, when they spawn in, the Gammas have a whole bunch of civilians around them. Because of how the spawns work, they have an influx of spawns, so the game doesn't know where to put them, so they just put them in random spots, sometimes just directly next to the raider. But Stage 2, I can just say the exact same things about Stage 1. It's the same character. It's honestly pretty lazy in my opinion. I get that they're, companions in superhero-ness, whatever they would say, but it's just, come on. They're the same character. Moving on to Stage 3. Stage 3, for some reason, before the patch, you could kill Stage 3 without them getting full evolution energy, and you would win. That made sense. You'd actually win the game for fighting a raider with slightly below average health. And I mean slightly. It's probably about 5 to 10% less HP than a regular raider. Like if Frieza spawns in compared to just now getting stage 3 Gammas, only 10% less HP is nothing. Well, not Frieza. That's a bad example. He has a little bit more HP. But a Buu. Like a regular level 2 Buu or something like that. But if we're talking about stage 3, same thing as stage 1 and 2. Exact same thing. But you have your little buddy following you around. You have a second burst / break strike. Okay, guess we're just going to give every raider that now. And when you use a super attack, whatever gamma you have that's backing you up will back you up with that super attack. Let me turn on the music real quick. Hold on, I'm going to make this more dramatic. And when it comes to how they function, I haven't even got to the main problem. Here's the main problem. I want to go on for a while with this one. But why in the world are the Gammas allowed to pick up and hold the keys? This is the biggest blunder out of any design in the entire game, and that reason alone brings them all the way down to heinous. They can hold on to keys. Oh, just knock them out of them. Just jump them. Okay, in a regular match, how am I supposed to do that? They have 2 bursts. They have 2 break strikes. At stage 3, I have to get my level 3 dragon change. I have to somehow fly up to them because you know they're going to be up there. You got to fly up to them, waste a little bit of Dragon Change getting there, fight them, somehow get the 2 break strikes out of them, then knock them down. But since you knock them back and they're in the sky, and if you don't have instant descent, guess what? They're just going to instant descent back down to the key and pick it up again before you've got it. Why in the world is this a thing? It's the reason why I haven't even played that much Breakers. It's the reason why a lot of people aren't playing that much Breakers. It's because Gamma's, oh boy, a super cool raider. It's new. No new map. No new nothing. I sound like Iron Cane right now because it makes me infuriated. Why are they designed in this way? I haven't even gotten to the recent buff. Beforehand, when the Gammas would plant a key into their little Red Ribbon Army base, a new key would be sent immediately by Trunks. That worked. That made sense. You got a little bit of extra downtime on the Super Time Machine. You could bring it all the way down to 0% to make it go up really slow if you really want to plant that many. But the survivors had a chance the whole time to get those keys. They see him flying down. But now, when the Gammas plant a key in the Red Ribbon Army base, it can take up to 4 minutes. Let me just emphasize this. 4 minutes for the key to be sent back by Trunks. Are you kidding me? The Gammas can get a key, 1 key, and even the survivors are doing well. They find all the other keys. They haven't found this other one. You plant that 1 key at 13 minutes to go. At 9 minutes to go, Trunks will finally send that next key. Why? I haven't even read chat. I'm going to read chat in just a second here. But that is the main reason why they are the worst designed raider in the game. You were just sitting there, twiddling your thumbs with nothing to do for 4 minutes. Why? It can sometimes be a little bit less. Oh boy, 3.5, 3, that's still ridiculous. It shouldn't take any longer than I'm even stretching here, 1.5 minutes. I'd make it a minute flat every time. Because that's still a minute of guaranteed slowdown to the game. Because if the Gammas waste enough time and they stall until there's 7 minutes left when that Super Time Machine comes out, Magenta instantly comes out. And with the recent buffs, when Magenta comes out, which we haven't even got to, he's the stage 4, Magenta comes out, he used to be really, really, really bad. And it used to be this falling out of Gammas to where you'd waste 15 minutes of your life just to kill Magenta because of how bad he was. But now, if the Gammas have full evolution energy and they swap to Magenta, would you look at that? Magenta only has to jetpack really, really quick and he's immediately at the base. I've had moments where I'm playing an online game. Magenta will show up with his cutscene. We'll get back into the actual playable movement of our characters. 5 seconds later, he's suddenly entering the base. There's no risk to him anymore when that scenario comes up. And then Cell Max, they nerfed him. Why? He was fine before. This is even for design. I want Cell Max to be stronger because right now, if you have 3 good survivors that know what they're doing and they've got the orange Piccolo up, they might be able to stop you. Genuinely. If they know what they're doing. But against regular players, what are they going to do? They don't know what to do. They're not running 13 stuns on their build. How are they going to stop them? It is so inherently horrible. Gamma stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, Magenta, even now he's bad because if you get punished for playing or getting jumped. So Magenta can still get found if he plays poorly because if level 3 Gammas die and they have no evolution energy, Magenta only has 1 available space to go to. So he even gets ridiculously bad at sometimes. They're so juxtaposing. Like, why? They're either horrible or fantastic. And by fantastic, I mean so oppressively good in the way that they are good. Let me calm down for 2 seconds and read chat. Let's see what you guys have been saying. So you were saying since when no wonder games get to level 2 so fast, exactly. And then you were talking about that copy and paste. I agree. The key campaign. People start to complain about it. Yeah. I don't know why people started to complain about the keys immediately coming back. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. The magenta buff is good. I disagree. I don't think it was necessary to this extent. I think he needed to be buffed, yes, but not to this extent where he can instantly get to it. They always have a way to increase speed and damage, true. You have to run 15 stuns, instant descent if you want to count. Yeah, You thought 2 minutes? You thought that was BS. Never knew it was 4 minutes, exactly. If you want, I could actually even, at the end of this video, I'll show an example. I'll edit something together, actually. I'm going to do that. At the end of this video, if you want to skip to the end of the video, I'm going to show you a recording I had. Let me make sure I have it before I just lie outright to everybody here. Hold on. We're checking this. Do I still have the recording? No, that's when I played Cell. I might have deleted it. Did I delete it? I think I deleted it. Never mind. Ignore me. I'll cut that out of the video. But moving back into it. I played against Iron King once when we were testing everything at like 3 o'clock in the morning when he booty called the entire Discord for some reason. But I was awake, so I joined in. We played a match right after they buffed the Gammas. He found a key, placed it at almost exactly 13 minutes. I was recording the video. I was recording the gameplay just to have it. I went back, looked at the timers. He planted at 13. The key did not fall down until 9 minutes. It actually took 4 minutes. It's ridiculous. The Gammas are horrible. They're horribly designed. They're unfun. They're slow. It's a just complete slugfest. It makes you so grueling. It makes you grueling. You know what I mean? It makes you feel like it's just grueling into this, and you're just sitting there falling asleep because it's been 15 minutes since you started this game, and the game has just now decided to stop camping the last key. My God, the Gammas are horrible. They need to be changed in so many ways if they want to be even remotely close to could use improvements. They need to be reworked, genuinely. Get rid of the key. Make it to where when they're holding a key, they can't use their Android barrier or something like that. I don't know. There's a lot of problems with Gammas. I think I got over most of them. But going back over the list really quick, just to finish this up after talking about the Gammas forever and hating them. Vegeta, fantastic. Couldn't ask for better. Baseline of a great Raider. All 3 of these guys, they're great. They just need a few changes, and they could be up and fantastic. I never have issues with these guys. These guys, the Ginyu and Frieza, playing against them isn't bad. That playing as them can be bad. Goku Black just has some weird things that go on with him, like Zamasu dying, not doing anything, and the level 2 strategy. But other than that, you get rid of those. He's just a good Raider. That really isn't that bad to go against. He just need a few changes. Baby, still bad in a lot of ways, but since that spawn change, he's gone up from heinous, so he's slowly but surely improving on that. There's a lot of changes. I've already talked about that in my rant, and over the course of 20 hours of my rant just now, talked about the Gammas, how I feel about them in extreme detail. But I think that's about it. I think this was a good discussion. Vegeta best Raider, I agree. He's the best Raider overall design-wise. I like playing as Frieza more just because I like Frieza. But design-wise, Vegeta's the best. Now you're wondering what Golden Frieza would be like. Yep. Guess we'll find out. Well, I appreciate you watching, whoever watches on YouTube, and I appreciate everyone here. I'm going to go ahead and say EXE, Cho, and then Darth just showed up at some point. Like, appreciate all you guys. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, one chat by, it was +2, I think I've seen you before, that just said the Gammas. Okay, nice. But I appreciate all you guys for stopping by for this, and I appreciate anyone who's watching this. If you'd like to give your own opinions in the comments, please do. I would love to see, I want to see paragraphs. I will read every single one of them talking about discussions about these Raiders. But anyways, thanks to everyone who showed up. Thanks to you for watching, and have a good one. Thanks, Darth.